Hello there. Hi, my name is Jerry Fontaine, and in this video, I will explain the flow of creating an order in VoiceFlow. I will leave links in the description to other videos that will help you set up third-party tools like GraphMyPDF and Zapier. Additionally, I will outline what to expect in the future versions of this build. There are some exciting features planned for upcoming releases, also found in the description. So stay connected. You can subscribe or ring the bell to be notified. To start, I added this JavaScript block to gather information about the caller. This serves two purposes. First, to detect whether the client is using the phone or a web chatbot. And second, to gather information about the caller. This serves two purposes. First, to detect whether the client is using the phone or a web chatbot. And second, to send relevant information to the generated PDF to help the fulfillment team understand the order. This allows them to determine if they should call the client before shipping and processing payments. It also creates a more natural conversation. For example, thanking the client for calling or displaying images if they are using the chatbot. Next, based on the client's response to the greeting, we can determine the user's intent. I want to cover booking a meeting, extensively documented by VoiceFlow. Instead, I'll focus on the new order desk functionality, which is not covered in VoiceFlow's discussions. If the system detects that the client wants to place an order or request a quotation, the flow jumps over to the order desk. The first major change from version 1 is that the getDate function has been moved here, as it is only required when the client wants to place an order. This helps reduce token usage. The flow then moves to the question of if they want to create an order or get a quotation. In future versions, I'll be adding items like would you like a duplicate invoice or get an order status and more. After the client provides a response, the system retrieves product information using a structured prompt. Before diving into the prompt, let's discuss the tabular data knowledge base, which I added in this version. Here's an image of what the tabular data looks like. It's in a JSON file, and it's uploaded through the VoiceFlow API. So let's take a look at the prompt. Here you can see the prompt provides the AI with the necessary instructions to generate an order or a quote correctly. I have added quantity and total fields. The quantity field has a default value of 1, so at the very least, the total will match the manufacturer's suggested retail price. If the client specifies a quantity, the system updates the value and calculates the correct total. So going back to the JSON file, you can see the only available fields are description, vendor SKU, and MSRP. However, in the prompt, you can see that quantity and total are dynamically added. So let's just run the prompt so you can see what's happening here. So all I've done is in the variables here, I've just added part of the JSON file that picks a specific product. So when we run this, you'll see that it dynamically will add the totals and the quantity. Pretty cool. Not only that, can you imagine how much time it would take someone at an order desk to do this? Trust me, I've done it before. It takes a while. So the next block confirms the selected product with the clients before proceeding. So you can see that here. I added this little block here to kind of like give the system some time before it actually demonstrates the product. So let's take a look at that prompt. Just a product confirmation. I'll edit this prompt. In this prompt, we get the AI to format the description that will be spoken out to the user on the phone, where it actually uses words instead of numbers. And you'll see in the demo that it works actually quite well. If the client confirms the selection, the next JavaScript block so in this script, the script checks the product variable, and if it's empty, it adds a line item. Otherwise, it appends to the JSON list. This list, along with other details, is then sent to Zapier for processing by CreateMyPDF or other providers like Make. Another note, I am still using standard error handling for this version, from version 1. However, newer versions, I will implement more robust error handling for unexpected issues. This is the error handling block I'm talking about right here. Since there should be no reason for the code to fail anyway, the next block asks the user if they would like to add more items. This step repeats recursively until the user declines. That's done over here. Another significant change from version 1.0 is that I moved the collection of the user's name and email. This is still handled by a separate component, which I will discuss now. I made some changes in this as well. What I've done is I've switched to using SSML to provide for a better response from the system. So and I also added these JavaScript files to handle correctly formatting the email addresses so that the system can work properly. So to look at the changes here, there was no real change to requesting the user's name. However, I added this JavaScript block to correctly format the email address. I then added another JavaScript file to format the SSML to allow for the bot to speak slower to make it clearer. You'll see that in the demonstration. And finally, in the prompt itself, we output the SSML. There's one other thing that I found made this application work better is actually in the settings itself. When you choose the actual voice that's going to be used, I found that choosing the correct character from text to speech here makes a big difference. So play around with that and get what works for you. Now that we have the basic information, we can go ahead and gather the address of the individual. That was another change that was made here, where in the previous version, I would use a prompt for the city, the street, the province. I've changed that to just having the one prompt, which allows the user or the client, whoever's calling in, to just give their complete address. It just makes it for a better flow. And the address is obviously required for fulfillment purposes. So this is where you would add the variables that are required by GraphMyPDF. So you need the webhook from Zapier, obviously. You pass the date, so that'll be the date of the invoice, whether it's a quote or an order. Origin is, again, to help fulfillment. It'll either come in saying that it was a web order, or it'll say that it was inbound from, and it'll say which phone number it was inbound in case you have multiple lines. Then it has a JSON file, which is formatted for multiple items, the address of the client, the phone number, the name, and the email. Just to take a look at the function now. So the function accepts the generated JSON product list, parses it into line items to build the JSON response, and then sends it to Zapier. Let's jump on to the demo. AI Agent Order System version 2.0 beta. I'm going to have to read from a list because I made so many changes from version 1 that I wouldn't remember to say them all. So I'm just going to read from this list and then I'll give a demo of actually calling
the system. So one of the first things I changed was the flow has been changed to not request the client name, address, and email unless the client has moved forward with the request. So this is basically, why bother asking for all this information if they're just calling to ask a simple question if we sell something and have no intention of ordering something. Another thing we changed is it's got a smarter first contact flow control. What it does is it automatically detects whether or not it's a phone call that's coming in or whether or not it's a web interface, so that it could be more tweaked to that type of caller. So if someone is coming in for phone, as an example, it could say thank you for calling, or if it's on web, it could say thank you for coming to our website. It has better timing on voice prompts with less pausing. So in the first version, there was a longer pause from when I would say something to where the AI agent would respond. So I've shortened that up a bit. Another change I've made is I changed some functions that are in the flow to avoid using tokens. So an example of that is, why would I bother doing an API call to get the time if they're not having any intention of creating an order. Another thing is it's true to life order functionality using a choice of more than 700 products available for a quote or an order. So what I did to do that is I moved the products list into a tabular JSON dataset using the VoiceFlow API. So now I have more targeted queries towards where I could present more accurate data to the user. For an example, if they ask for a 500 watt solar panel, it'll get exactly that 500 watt solar panel. There's a lot less hallucinations, so it's a lot more robust system. Another thing I changed is I updated several new prompts to clean up responses to be more human-like. And I also do calculations based on how much quantity they say they want to update the totals. So if they say they want, let's say, 4 batteries, it'll tell them, okay, thank you for your request on 4 batteries, and here's the total for those 4 batteries. Another thing is I created a new craft my PDF function, which permits for multiple line orders. So now a person can order like solar panels, batteries, and any other thing that we sell in one voice conversation. I also created a new JavaScript block that builds the JSON file required for the multi-line orders. That's been incorporated into it. And I still kept the meeting and the knowledge base. Before I make the call, I just want to make a point. I was talking to my friend Todd, and he wanted to get into solar. But it's Saturday afternoon, and Net Zero Plus isn't open. But wait a minute, they have a voice agent. So let's try and call that.
Hello, I am your AI assistant, so how can I help you today? You can ask a question, request a quote, or book an appointment with one of our team members.
Do you have solar panels in stock?
Yes, we do have solar panels available in stock. If you're interested in purchasing or learning more about our solar panels, please let me know how I can assist you further.
Okay, I'd like to get a quote.
You have contacted the order desk. However, before we can continue, are you looking for a quotation or to place an order?
A quotation, please.
Would you like to quote a solar panel, backup battery, inverter, or something else we sell? Just say something like, I would like 5 items of 200-watt solar panels as an example.
I'd like 6 only of 400-watt solar panels.
Great, give me a moment to look that up, please. So, just to confirm, you're looking at 6 400-watt solar panels at $299.99 each, totaling $1,799.94. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Thank you. Would you like to add something else?
Yes, please.
Okay, what would you like to add to your quote?
I'd like to add 2 batteries at 200 amp hours.
Great, give me a moment to look that up, please. So, just to confirm, you're looking at two 200 amp hour batteries, each priced at $599.99, with a total of $1,199.98. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Thank you. Would you like to add something else?
Yeah, lastly, I'd like one 5 kilowatt solar inverter.
Okay, what would you like to add to your quote?
A 5 kilowatt solar inverter.
Great, give me a moment to look that up, please. So, you're interested in a 5 kilowatt solar inverter with a quantity of 1, priced at $1,299.99. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Thank you. Would you like to add something else?
No, I'm done.
Great. Please provide your full name.
Jerry Fontaine.
Thank you, Jerry Fontaine. And can you provide your email?
gnfontaine@gmail.com.
I heard this for your email address. gnfontainatgmail.com. Is this correct?
No, it's not.
Sorry, Jerry Fontaine. Maybe spell it to avoid mistakes. Let's try again.
gnfontaine@gmail.com.
I heard this for your email address. gnfontaine@gmail.com. Is this correct?
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Okay, let's create your quote. Can you please provide your complete mailing address?
Sure. It's 1400 Main Street, Winnipeg, Manitoba, R4H1A3.
Thank you for your quote. You will receive an email soon. Have a great day. Goodbye.
Well, that's it in a nutshell. I've made numerous optimizations, bug fixes, and feature additions in this version. I will likely post updates